Earth completes one full rotation every 24 hours. At the equator, that means the ground beneath your feet is moving at about 1,670 kilometers per hour, faster than most commercial airplanes. But because everything on Earth, including the air, oceans, and all of us, moves together at this incredible speed, we don't notice a thing. This smooth, shared motion is why the world feels so steady. We're all part of the same unseen dance, carried along as the planet spins on its axis. The rotation of Earth gives us day and night, shapes our weather, and creates the cycles that life depends on. The rising and setting of the sun, the movement of clouds, and the flow of winds, all are part of this constant motion. Our daily lives, the schedules of cities, and the migrations of animals, all follow the rhythm set by Earth's rotation. We're so used to this movement that we never notice it. It's the invisible backdrop to everything we do. But now, imagine this motion suddenly stops. The world, in an instant, comes to a halt. Physics tells us something important. Objects in motion stay in motion. So if Earth stopped spinning, everything on its surface would keep moving at that same speed, about 1,670 kilometers per hour at the equator. The result, oceans, air, and everything not anchored to bedrock would be flung eastward at incredible speed. The forces unleashed would be catastrophic. Air and water would become destructive forces, creating winds and tsunamis powerful enough to flatten cities and sweep across continents. To understand why, we need to look at the physics behind Earth's rotation. And what happens when that rotation suddenly stops? The consequences would ripple through every part of our world, from the deepest ocean to the highest mountain. This isn't science fiction, it's the reality of physics. The rules that govern our universe are strict, and when they're disrupted, the results are dramatic. It's the story of what happens when the silent dance of our planet ends. The lights would go out, the warmth would fade, and the world as we know it would be transformed forever. Imagine a world where the engine of life simply ceases. Time itself would seem to freeze, and the familiar patterns of nature would vanish. The stability we take for granted would vanish in an instant. Civilization, nature, and the delicate balance that sustains us would be shattered. Life itself would be swept away as the planet's systems collapse in chaos. The aftermath would be a world unrecognizable to us. Let's dare to ask, what if the Earth stopped spinning? What secrets would be revealed, and what would it mean for our future? The answer reveals just how fragile our existence truly is, and how much we depend on the silent, unseen dance of our planet to keep life in motion. Imagine if Earth stopped spinning in an instant. The consequences would be immediate and catastrophic. Everything not anchored to bedrock, cars, trees, buildings, even people, would continue flying eastward at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. The atmosphere wouldn't stop either. It would keep moving at the same speed, unleashing supersonic winds across the planet. These winds could flatten entire cities within minutes, but the oceans would cause the most destruction. Water from the seas would surge across continents as massive global tsunamis, sweeping away everything in their path. Entire coastlines could disappear beneath these colossal waves, leaving devastation on a scale never before seen. The momentum of our spinning world is immense, and if it were ever interrupted, the results would be nothing short of apocalyptic. Imagine, for a moment, what happens to Earth's very shape if it stops spinning. Right now, Earth's rotation causes it to bulge slightly at the equator. The planet isn't a perfect sphere, it's more like a squashed ball thanks to the centrifugal force of spinning. If the spinning stopped, gravity would slowly take over, pulling the planet into a more perfect sphere. The equatorial bulge would shrink, and Earth's shape would change forever. But that's not all. Water that's now pooled around the equator would begin to flow toward the poles, following gravity's new command. Over time, this would create new oceans near the poles, while vast stretches of land would emerge around the equator, land that's been underwater for millions of years. Entire coastlines would vanish. Cities that once thrived by the sea could find themselves stranded far from water, while new polar seas would swallow up what used to be frozen tundra. Ecosystems everywhere would collapse. Plants and animals adapted to their environments would face extinction as their habitats disappear or transform overnight. The equator, once lush and teeming with life, could become a barren wasteland. Meanwhile, the poles would flood, creating entirely new marine environments. humanity would be forced to adapt to a world where the very map of continents and oceans has been redrawn. The collapse of ecosystems would threaten food supplies, water sources, and the survival of countless species, including us. The transformation would be slow, but relentless. Civilization would be forced to abandon old cities and build new ones in unfamiliar places. Our history, our achievements, and our way of life would be swept away by the slow but unstoppable power of gravity and water. The world would become unrecognizable, a planet reshaped, its ecosystems shattered, and its future uncertain. As water surges toward the poles, the old world would disappear beneath new seas, and new lands would rise from the depths. Earth would fall silent, waiting for life to adapt or vanish in this strange, spherical new world. The consequences of a motionless Earth would echo for millennia, as the planet and its life struggle to find a new balance. If Earth stopped spinning, day and night would change forever. Instead of a 24-hour day, one side of the planet would face the sun for 6 months straight. The sunlit side could reach temperatures over 100 degrees Celsius. The dark side would freeze, dropping below -100 degrees Celsius. Most life on Earth would struggle to survive these extreme conditions. Our world would become a planet of endless day and endless night. Human survival would depend on adaptation. Some regions near the twilight zone, between day and night, might remain habitable, but global infrastructure would collapse, agriculture would fail, and billions of people would be affected. Human civilization would face one of its greatest challenges. Fortunately, there's good news. Earth suddenly stopping its rotation is in reality almost impossible. The amount of energy needed would be unimaginable. So tomorrow morning, the sun will rise just like it always does, and our planet will keep spinning quietly through space. Without spin, Earth's day would last a year. One side would face the sun for 6 months, scorched by relentless heat. Water would boil away, the land would become a wasteland. The other side would endure 6 months of darkness and freezing cold. The atmosphere could freeze and fall as snow. Only a narrow twilight band between the two extremes might be survivable. Here, the sun would hover on the horizon, but violent storms would rage constantly. Life would be nearly impossible anywhere else. The gentle rhythm of sunrise and sunset would be gone forever. The world would be divided between fire, ice, and a stormy sliver of twilight. Survival would be a desperate struggle. Almost all life would be wiped out in minutes. The initial stop, firestorms and floods would sterilize the surface. Only extremophile microbes deep underground might survive. Deep-sea vent organisms could endure if their habitats remained intact. For humans, survival would require deep, fortified bunkers far from coasts. Emerging, they'd find a world unrecognizable, confined to the twilight zone. Agriculture would be nearly impossible. Photosynthesis would falter. Life would have to adapt to constant storms and perpetual dusk. Humanity would be forced underground, scraping by in a hostile world. The nurturing Earth would become an alien, violent planet. The Earth's spin is the silent pulse of life. It drives our days, our weather, and the rhythms of existence. We are perfectly adapted to this motion. Its loss would mean the end of everything we know. This thought experiment reveals our dependence on cosmic forces. We are passengers on a dynamic, living world. Every sunrise and sunset is a gift of this planetary dance. The chances of Earth stopping are zero, but imagining it reminds us how precious our world is. The harmony of our planet is fragile and extraordinary. Next time you feel the ground beneath you, remember, you're riding a spinning miracle. We are lucky to have a front row seat to the grand ballet of the cosmos.